All right, let's dive into the 85th chapter of the Quran, Surah Al Buruj. This is such a powerful chapter. It starts way out in the vastness of the cosmos and then zooms right down to a critical moment in human history, leaving us with a question that honestly still rings true today.
So, right out of the gate, the surah opens with this just breathtaking oath. It immediately sets this tone of cosmic grandeur. It's asking us to look up, to think about the sheer scale and the perfect order of the universe, and to use that as a foundation for everything that's about to come.
Okay, so what's this all about? I mean, what does this celestial oath really mean? Why does the Quran so often point us to the natural world to get across its most profound truths? Let's get into it.
The key word we're zeroing in on here is Buruj. And, it's such a rich term. It doesn't just mean stars. It carries this heavy sense of being a stronghold, a massive tower, something with immense strength and permanence. It implies a powerful structure.
And what's just incredible is how our understanding of Buruj actually gets deeper with science. I mean, at first, it just meant the constellations you could see with your own eyes. But then, as our telescopes got stronger, we realized some of those little stars were actually entire galaxies. And now we know that at the heart of these galaxies are supermassive black holes, these incredible gravitational strongholds holding billions of stars in place. The word just fits on every single level.
So you see, this is way more than just beautiful poetry. The Quran is basically taking an oath on the laws of physics, on the absolute, unwavering principles that run the entire cosmos. The message is simple. Just as surely as those stars hold their place in the sky, the divine promise is true and it will be fulfilled.
And with that cosmic promise locked in, the surah does something amazing. It pivots hard. It zooms in from the scale of galaxies to a very specific, absolutely harrowing event right here on Earth, a story known as the Companions of the Trench.
To really get this, we've got to travel back in time, to about 50 years before the Prophet Muhammad was even born. We're in a place called Najran, in ancient Yemen, where a community of monotheistic Christians found themselves up against a truly tyrannical king.
The conflict itself was simple and just brutal. This community believed in one God, and that belief was a direct challenge to the king's authority. So he demanded they renounce their faith. They said no.
So the choice he gave them was, well, it was no choice at all, really. It was an impossible ultimatum. Abandon your deepest held beliefs or face a horrific consequence.
Historians estimate that as many as 20, even 40,000 people, we're talking men, women, and children, chose their faith. And for that choice, they were thrown into a massive trench filled with fire and burned alive.
Now, the Quran describes this with these really chilling words, but listen closely to the phrasing here. It says, destroyed were the companions of the trench, not the victims of the trench. That's a crucial detail, and we're going to come back to it.
Okay, so you might be thinking, why bring up such a horrifying story from the past? Well, it turns out it was revealed at a very specific time and for a very specific audience.
This chapter came down to the Prophet Muhammad in Mecca, right at the moment when his very first followers, people like Sumayya and her husband Yasser, were being brutally tortured by the tribal leaders, just for becoming Muslim.
It's a striking parallel, isn't it? The so-called crime of the Christians in Najran was the exact same crime of the first Muslims in Mecca, choosing to believe in one God against the oppressive power of the day. They were being punished simply for what they believed in their hearts.
And this is where we get to the absolute heart of the surah's message. It's a really difficult question that it forces every single one of us to think about.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Why would you tell people who are being tortured a story about other people being tortured? On the surface, it almost seems cruel, but the answer reveals something profound about justice and about our own responsibility.
Because the Quran does something brilliant here. It subtly points out that the scene didn't just have two groups, the killers and the victims. No, there was a third group present, and their role is absolutely central to the whole lesson of this chapter.
So let's break these three groups down, because this is where we find the surah's powerful commentary on justice and, well, on our human duty.
Here they are. You've got the persecutors, the ones who committed the atrocity. You've got the believers, the ones who became martyrs for their faith. And then you have this third group, the bystanders. Remember the companions of the trench? The Quran is talking about the people who just sat on the sidelines, watching people burn and did nothing. And the Quran's condemnation falls so heavily on them.
And that is the core lesson.
This story isn't meant to make believers feel helpless. It's the exact opposite. It's a massive wake-up call. It's saying that God empowers us, human beings, to establish justice. Just passively waiting for a miracle while terrible things happen? That's not an option. Inaction is a choice, and it's a choice that's being condemned.
The surah then brings it all full circle, concluding with a reflection on the ultimate nature of God and the incredible and kind of scary dual potential of human belief.
First, a stark, unwavering reminder of ultimate accountability. Human justice can fail. Tyrants might seem to win for a while, but the divine grip, divine justice is absolute. It's severe and it is inescapable. In the end, nobody gets away with it.
And then, immediately after that intense warning, the surah gives us this beautiful, beautiful contrast. The same God whose grip is so severe is also Al-Wadud, the loving, the affectionate, and Al-Ghafur, the all-forgiving. It shows that even for the persecutors and for the bystanders, the door to turn back to repent was and is always open.
And that leaves us right here with this final, powerful question. The story of the trench proves that belief is an immense force. It can inspire people to die for a principle. It can motivate others to commit mass murder. And it can lead people to just sit silently and do nothing at all. The challenge of Surah Al Buruj, from the stars all the way down to the earth, is to ask each of us, what will our belief move us to do?